Hello. Hello. Okay, I'm live. And I'm still very awkward. I'm trying to get over it. I'm cold and I like it. I'd rather be cold than hot. It's 11. It's 11 o'clock. I'm getting new glasses in a little while. They're pink and they're transgressive, which means depending on the part of the lens is for reading and close-up things, and part of the lens is for distance. I've never had transgressive lenses, and I'm a little scared. And I couldn't get the frames that I really wanted I loved the most because they were out of my price range. So I had to get something that was a little bit less expensive. So the ones that I chose have the color that I like, but the frame shape that I like the best was too expensive. But they weren't my favorite color anyway. They were like a lightish brown kind of color, but they were really cool and they had a keyhole nose thingy like my sunglasses. I really like them, but I'm getting cute pink ones, but I don't have them yet. So I have to wear these. Now, I never go live at this time of day. My arm is really hurting me. This one's hurting a lot too. It's like right here, which I don't understand why it would hurt there. Well, it's nerve damage and side effects from my medication. Oh, remind me, I have to do my Zoladex injection today, which is a big needle. Well, sorry for anyone who's afraid of like needle talk, but if you put Zoladex needle size into Google Images, you'll see the needle standing up next to a pencil. You will see a picture someone uploaded. If you want to see how scary this needle is. Anyway, I can hear my neighbor. I have to grab a piece of my flesh below my belly button. I usually grab around the same spot and I have to stick it in and plunge it down. It's hard to do. Well, it's hard to work up the courage to shove it in. That's the part that takes a long time. And then sometimes, when I've worked up the courage, and then all of a sudden my brain says, oh, wait, this is going to hurt. I don't do it as fast as I should. And that just makes it hurt more. And then I sometimes worry that I didn't get it in deep enough. So you really just have to bite the bullet and go, sometimes I do it once a month. Sometimes it's really, I just get all like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I do it real good and it doesn't hurt too much. And I'm like, yeah. I get very proud of myself, even though pride is a sin, because I have another month. Anyway, I was looking at my renewals, like how many refills I have, and there's 36. So how many months is that? Well, that's 36 months, but how many years is 36 months? Because that's how long I have to do it. What it does is it stops my period from coming back, and it helps to stop cancer from coming back. So it's very, very important. Now, I used to think of it just as, oh, this is stopping my period from coming back. And I didn't really think about the cancer part of it. Then when I think to myself, shoving this thing into my flesh is going to help stop cancer from coming back. That just makes it seem more important. Although I really don't want my period either. But the cancer part makes me go, yeah. And I go like that. But I'm I don't know. Right, that's why I hurt over here. Like it makes more sense to be more hurtful over here because that's where the reconstruction all happened and they took the lymph node guys out. But please also remind me to reach up high and stretch. Ow. So it's like the nerve. Ouch. Okay. Should I read? There are 2 people in here, apparently. I don't know if I count as one of those people. I can see, live chat, and I can see participants. Oh, it's just me, I guess. So I'm only talking to myself. That's okay. I have to make some more. No, I have to warm up my tea. See my earrings? They're like gold there. And then there are 3 little, I don't know, mother of, what's her name? Mother of pearl. I don't know if they're real or not. Maybe. I mean, they're costume jewelry. Oh, I had remembered where they came from. It's not Sarah Coventry. It's these jewelry parties that my mom used to go to in the 80s and early 90s. And sometimes I would choose things as well. So I've had these since, I don't know, probably the late 80s. And they're still really pretty. So it's high quality costume jewelry. I don't wear earrings oh, and then I had another really nice pair that I wish I had. It was like a silver. The long part here was silver. And then it had 2, I think, hearts that were clear. They were like plasticky, but they were clear. And they were just so cool. And I wish I still had them. But at least I have these ones. So should I do some reading of The Clue in the Chimney? I'm going to do a little look and see. No, I should have dog-eared the page that I'm on. So I'm going to check. I wish I had my new glasses. Then I won't have to put a rubber band around my head. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put a rubber band around my eyes. Last time I snapped my eyelid, and I don't want to do that. Look at that. Look at that. See how much my hair has grown since I bleached it? Last time I did my roots, I don't do it properly, you know. I don't do sections and I overlap. That's why there's been a bit of breakage and I have some damage up here. So I've decided I'm just going to let it grow. Eventually, I might go to the hair salon that I have been to a few times but rarely go to and have her do my roots, because I only think about the parts that I see, you know, like I see this part a lot because I part it there. But obviously my roots are everywhere. And then when I go like this, my hair is really black. After chemo, it started growing back in even darker than it was, which was the complete opposite of what I asked God for. But at least he made me not have cancer. So that's good. And he helped the doctors too. Have I shown you my Bible? See, what I have on TV is called Brambly Hedge. It's really cute. I don't really like the illustrations, the art. I sometimes see those because I enjoy art of like little anthropomorphical, whatever, animals. My favorite is Wind in the Willows. But I don't really like the Brambly Hedge art because it's a little bit too cluttered and busy for me. It gives me a bit of a headache. There's just too much going on at Brambly Hedge for me. Hello. Okay, it says there's 4 people here. Now, if I say participants, no, see, I only see myself. But apparently there are other people here. So please say hello. Say hello to me. Won't you? Won't you say hello? I'm just going to check my telephone and see if it's charging. I can't see. Is it in the 90s already? No, it's at 86. My phone is at 86%. Okay, I'm going to go get the book. That makes me feel better, knowing that I have the book. Brambly Hedge. Okay. These are the 2 books that are in progress. Oh, can I just ask you a favor? Not many people have liked my last. I usually don't care about thumbs up and all that jazz, but they've gotten quite a few views, but not many thumbs up. My last 2 installments of the Anne of Green Gables storybook. I really enjoyed performing those. It was fun. And hello, T. So here's what we've been reading. Oh, wow, we're almost finished this. I did put a bookmark in it. I can see myself in the back. Wait, can you see yourself? That's a little scary. Roman numerals. I'm not awake yet. 15. We're going to start chapter 15. It's been a long time. Do we remember what happened at the end of chapter 14? Suddenly, a wild thought came to Nancy. Maybe this was unexpected aid. Perhaps the girls had fled from the mysterious woods to summon help. Nancy stared at the car tensely. With a gentle squeal of brakes, it rolled to a stop. Its lights dimmed. I'm tired of reading like this. So when I get my new computer, maybe I'll actually put it on top of something too. No, I don't know. It's a combination of the way where things are placed and my body, my issues with the inside of my body. It's a combination of those things. Like, it's not good to. I'm like this when I record. See, because here's my microphone. Oh, it's really heavy. Oh my God, it's so heavy. It would be better if it was, hey, maybe it would be better. No, see, it's because it needs to be up. Because now my lungs are folded and my throat is folded over. And all y'all see is my roots. This is my thing I put over it. Also, I don't know if you notice it, but I notice it a lot during a lot of my playback. My microphone hasn't moved or anything, but I'll hear like a thump in the playback. And I'm like, why did I hear that? Nothing moved. But it's very sensitive, I guess. I would prefer it to be like this, but everything is down, so I have to go like that. So I have no idea what's going on at the end here. What just happened, What just happened? Oh, I'm in the wrong book. This is Dana Girls. Why is this happening? Still with the Roman numerals, but these chapter titles don't look familiar. That's because I've never read them before. I wish. I'm wishing. Okay. So does anyone remember what happened at the end of chapter 14? Because I do not. Nancy stood poised on the balls of her feet, waiting until the dog had gone as far from the gate as his leash would permit. Apparently there's some dog action happening. Can you hear me? If I sit back like this? My legs, my arms. Force yourself to be cheerful. Force yourself. Also, shouting at the neighbor. Like, I would like to. I don't like other people hearing me except you. I don't want other people to hear me, but I can hear like yawning and giggling and coughing and I'm not in a good mood, but I wish I was. I would be in a better mood if I had privacy. I care too much what other people think. I'm alive. I beat the cancer. I can talk loud if I want to. I'm going to hold it like this, okay? Is that okay if I hold it like this? Because I really need to sit up. Do you mind if you don't see me? I also need light. Some of my issues will be fixed when I get my new glasses, but not all of them. Also, I've had a lot of nasal issues. This is gross, but like I have a tiny nasal passage and I have a tiny throat and I have tiny insides of my ears. Ear, nose, and throat are all connected. When I was little, I went to Dr. Mendelsohn, who was an ear, nose, throat specialist, and he had one of those silver circle things on his head. That's all I remember about him. I don't remember if he was nice. He probably was. Anyway, all of my are tiny, and my nose right now is like full of stuff. And also my throat is like full of stuff. I ordered throat coat, but they didn't have any left. So this is Echinacea Plus, which is supposed to be closest to throat coat, but it doesn't taste like throat coat. So I don't think it works. Throat coat tastes like licorice. And I think that helps. Good goopy morning. Well, thank you. I like that. I like a good goopy morning. I wish I was like this when I was reading. I wish my microphone was up here. It's really bad to go like this all the time. Oh yeah. This is a family business. This is a very old Big Oak golf course merchandise from the late 70s or early 80s. It's my mom's. I had a Big Oak. This is the golf course that my aunt and uncle owned, and now my cousin owns it. And then I have another cousin who has a golf course. That's why I have a special place in my heart for golf, because every summer we would go. It's in Geneva, New York, Big Oak GC. I had a really fun t-shirt, but I wore it so much that it disintegrated, I guess, from the 80s or late 70s. So please, if you want to go golfing, go to Geneva, New York, and go to Big Oak. Or you can go to Waterloo, New York, and go to my cousin Norm. I don't know my cousin Norm's golf course called Silver Creek. Okay? If you want to go play golf. That's in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. Tabby Cat Molly says, "Oh yeah, golf." Hi Tabby. Hi Molly. Norm. That's right. He's really cool, Norm. I don't know if he sits around at the bar as much, but there is a bar in the clubhouse. I think there's like a suit of armor in it. It's called the Dungeon. It's cool. It's cool. I haven't been there for decades, but I remember it being very cool. Cool temperature-wise, because it's underground, and cool, like neat. Okay. So let me heat up my tea. I don't know if you can see this, but nah, it's too golden and orange. But it's a really fun, sparkly color. I really like these bottles because they have a little diamond in them. I don't like the name of it, though. It's called Wedding Crasher. I don't like that name. I have 3 of these from this what is it called? Diamond Strength. And the bottles are so nice. And sometimes the colors, they look so beautiful in the bottle, but when you put them on, they're very sheer, like a pink one I got. It looks so pretty in the bottle when it's all jammed in there together. That's right, Norm. I used to love Cheers so much. I just haven't seen it in a long time. But a quote from that show that I always remembered, and I think Norm said it. He said, "Women." No, that's not it. Sorry. Women can't live with them. Pass the beer nuts. What do beer nuts taste like anyway? They're peanuts, not in the shell, and they have some kind of seasoning on them. Are they spicy? While I heat up my tea, you can discuss beer nuts and what they consist of. I'm not doing this to be silly. I'm trying to help my body. Oh, shortbread cookies. Shortbread cookies. Oh, I love shortbread. Okay. These are really yummy shortbread cookies. I don't know why. They came in a box and then they individually wrapped 3 together. But anyway, they're so crumbly. They'd be perfect if they weren't crumbly. I'm trying. No, I'm not going to eat them on here. I don't eat in front of a camera. Plus, they're really crumbly, and the crumbliness of them actually makes me mad. Like the crumbs go everywhere. Sugary. I'd probably like them then. I don't like honey roasted peanuts, but I like ones that are kind of like toffee covered and crunchy and they'll break your teeth right off. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look and see what is on beer nuts because they sound really good. So I guess the sweetness goes well with the taste of beer. I don't drink at all, but I have tasted beer. I'm going to be a grumpy old man and say, I remember back in the old days, we didn't have all these fancy beers, like cherry flavored beer and beer that tastes like bacon and beer that tastes like a blueberry muffin. Sorry, I was just remembering beer bottles. The little fat ones, you know? Soda came in that too. Little tiny chubby bottles. They were funny. These little cute ones. If I don't look it up now, I'll never look it up. Beer nuts. No, I don't want a copyright beer nuts. Oh, they're sending me to beernuts.com. No, I just want beer nuts. Beer Nuts is an American brand. I don't want the brand. I'm sure the brand, like there were beer nuts before they got branded. Shut up, lady. Okay. Oh, excuse me. The company began in 1937. Caramel crisp. Ooh, this is making me think of the Lucy show. Lucy and Viv become tycoons with their caramel corn. I hate the way no offense to anyone, but I hate it when people say caramel. And they don't even there's 2 A's in caramel, okay? It's not Carmel. It's not a place in California. It's caramel. It's okay if you wanna say caramel, but don't say Carmel, okay? This A is not the second A is not silent. Anyway, the company began in 19 I just wanna see what's on them. Beer nuts do not contain any beer. Oh, you don't say. I remember using a shampoo when I was little that had beer in it. Body on tap. Wow, this is a terrible Wikipedia article. Usually they go on and on and on, but they're not telling me much about beer nuts. I just want to know what's on them. Oh, I put in beer nuts recipe, and now I have like 5 million people's different beer nuts recipes. I'm telling you, we got too many options these days. We don't need that many recipes for beer nuts. I just want a basic beer nuts recipe. I think the squirrels can hear me. I heard a tap on the window. They're like, "We would like some beer nuts." Well, you can't. I don't need my squirrels having diabetes. I don't want to have to give them insulin injections. Oh, you have to boil things. Ooh, I think I make maple syrup peanuts. That would be nice. The boiling made me think of maple syrup and stuff. Oh, like maple sugar covered nuts, peanuts. Water, sugar, and peanuts? Let's see what a farm girl says. This farm girl named Brenda. Well, they look really good. Easy roasted beer nuts. Oh, they're pretty. Very good. Just give me complaining about recipes. You have to scroll down over all this stuff about. This is just an example. When I was a young girl, I remember eating grandma's beer nuts. And it's like scroll, scroll, scroll. Ugh, brown sugar. I love brown sugar. Oh, that's a good ugh. Okay, that's ugh, brown sugar. Sweet and salty baked nuts. Just 3 ingredients plus water. Water is not an ingredient. Water, sugar, granulated sugar, cocktail peanuts. What's the difference between a cocktail peanut and a regular peanut? Even though I like to stick with classic peanuts for this recipe, you can also use cashews, walnuts, pecans, almonds, pistachios, or even a variety of nuts. Sea salt. Ooh. I don't know. I don't really want to boil anything. Boil. Stir together the water, sugar, and peanuts in a saucepan and bring to a boil. Once the water is absorbed, it will turn to a grainy sugar consistency. What do I do with the leftover liquid? I have many ideas. Bake. Spread the coated peanuts on a baking sheet. Sprinkle with sea salt. Bake for 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how crunchy you want them. Crunchy, but not too crunchy. I don't want them burned and like charred or anything. Other seasoning ideas. A splash of sriracha or hot sauce. I don't think so. Cayenne pepper. No. Rosemary. I love it, but not on nuts. Chipotle powder. I don't like that word. Chipotle. No. Cinnamon. Yeah, yeah, maybe. Black pepper. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Use fresh nuts. Make sure the water evaporates. You do want the mixture to reach a boil, as that is what allows the water to evaporate, creating the crunchy, grainy texture that adheres to the nuts. Can I use other types of nuts? See, I would just put whatever I want in that. Sugar, spice, everything nice. Professor X mixed these ingredients and created the Powerpuff Girls. I never liked the Powerpuff Girls. I don't like that art style. So I never had any not inkling, but desire to watch it because I don't like that style of animation and art. But I know that one of the voices is Elizabeth Daily, and I love her singing voice. And she was Dottie on Pee Wee's Big Adventure. And she was in other movies, but that's one thing I know about Powerpuff Girls. I don't remember which one she played, but I really love her voice. I like raspy voices, like Tiffany. Um, so yes, we've learned a little about beer nuts. And I remember I have no almonds. I bought a very big bag of almonds, roasted, smoked, roasted, salted when you get to the bottom, that's where all the seed, like all the stuff that is fallen off accumulates, and you've got a little mountain of spices, and it's like, oh, this looks like it's tasty. And then you go, and you go, and you eat it all, and it's like, and little pieces of skin from them get in your throat, and you say, it was worth it. Buttercup, that's it. Is Buttercup, is that Elizabeth Daily? Did she have a raspy voice as the Powerpuff Girl? I think she was on that show Rugrats too, which I never watched. She played a little boy, I think. She was also in Valley Girl, which I have not watched all of. And I think it's because I do not enjoy Nicolas Cage. But I should try to watch the whole thing. I watched a fun movie from the 80s, from 1985, that I had never heard of, called Secret Admirer. I want to say Kelly Lynch. No, Kelly Preston was in it. Her character was so annoying. And Lori, I don't know how to say it, Laughlin, Aunt Becky was in it. She had a bigger part than, she was like the main girl character. And Pony Boy, C. Thomas Howell was in it. And I enjoyed it. It was really good. I like finding movies from the 80s that I've never even heard of, and they turn out to be good. Yeah. It was good. So I went to the eye doctor yesterday. This is of interest because I always complain about my glasses, right? I'm like, I have to get my eyes tested. Well, I was on Facebook and I found a picture of me the last time I got my eyes checked. I was trying on these glasses. I had dark brown hair to like here, and I had these glasses on. I hadn't bought them yet, and they weren't crooked, and they stayed on. And I was like, wow, I've got my new reading glasses. But it was 2019. So it had been 5 years since I went to the eye doctor. I have no eye diseases. My macula is not degenerating. It was a fun time. They didn't have the air pressure machine that blows air into your eye, but he had the optometrist had a drop to put in that tested your eye, whatever, pressure, and it was yellow. And he's like, here, he gave me a Kleenex to like wipe my eye, and it was like yellow, like apple juice kind of color. I was like, ugh, ugh. But I think I like that better than getting air blown into my eyeball. It's awful, to, like, have all the hurting inside, you know? It's invisible hurt. I don't know what it would look like on the inside if things looked if your nerves look inflamed or something. When you have nerve damage, I wonder what it looks like. But again, this isn't just nerve damage, it's also caused by my medications. All right. Should we do chapter 15? Oh, yeah. Mad Dash was chapter 14. And then there was that Lavender Sister. That sounds nice, but they're actually a creepy kind of like, is it a nature cult? I can't remember. No, that's a Secret of Redgate Farm with the nature cult, where they look like the Ku Klux Klan. It's hard to say. Say it 5 times fast. Ku Klux Klan. It's not fun. I wonder, like, what does Klux even mean? No, I'm not going to look it up. Like, what is KU? What does that mean? And what does Klux mean? Remind me that for later, okay? I'll look that up. Anyway, those people in that nature cult which was actually not a cult. It was a front for a sinister scheme. It was a front for a sinister scheme. Also, hey, look, you can see where it was folded. I don't fold like that. That must be my mother. Remnants of my mother's folding. Oh, my Bible. I'll show it to you. My glasses are falling off. I can't tell you how many times I re-microwave the same beverage. Oh, interesting. Right. Isn't their symbol like a circle or something? No, I'm thinking of the Zodiac Killer. He also wore a hood. Is it wrong that the Zodiac Killer creeps me out more than the Ku Klux Klan? They're both creepy, but I'd rather run into a Klansman than the Zodiac. What about you? Who'd you rather run into? If you had to run into one or the other, the Zodiac Killer or a Klansman, who would you rather run into? Like, I don't know, in a dark alley. It's an interesting question. This is my beautiful Bible. And the flower, the pink roses on it. The pink roses on it. I looked here. It says it's like, it has a pretty big print, but I still can't see it very well. Pink Rose Garden. Cover photograph of pink roses by Pierre Joseph Redoute. 1801, 1819. So I looked him up and he has like really beautiful artists who did not beautiful. Oh, well, maybe he was beautiful. I don't know. But he did beautiful botanical art. So I'm really glad that it has like a nice classic pink roses on the cover. And this is dark green on the back. I do wish it said Holy Bible or something here on the front, but it's still really nice. It's like imitation leather, and it has a little pink ribbon bookmark. There's no thumb index. Do you know how much more you have to, is that what they call that? Where you can like open to a certain part, like a little hole, little half moon thing. You have to pay a lot more for that, for those little holes. It must cost a lot to make those little holes. Hold on, where's my tea? Here it is. I burnt my tongue. Okay, you guys, let's read. Is it okay if I go like this? Chapter 15, Hot on the Trail. Nancy stood frozen to the spot. Not a sound permeated the woods from the direction of the car. Then from somewhere behind her came a woman's voice. I'm not going to try to do voices or anything. I'm just going to read it. I was like, I didn't know how to say it because I wanted to do a voice. I'm not going to do voices. That dog must have opened the gate. You know he did it once before. We may as well go back. Nancy was jubilant. The Lavender sisters did not know she had been inside the enclosure. But there was still uncertainty ahead. Courageously, she stood her ground to see what would happen down the lane. A moment later, a small figure bounded out of the darkness. Who do you think it is? Who's bounding out of the darkness? What small figure would bound out of the darkness in a Nancy Drew book? I wish my screen was right here. You know what? I think I'm going to put it on top of something, but then it'll be harder to move around. Who do you think is bounding out of the darkness? Fine, I'll just tell you. Togo! Nancy exclaimed joyously, and she hurried forward. In a few moments, she was joined by Bess, George, Dick Milton, and Hannah Gruen. I just saw whispered hoarsely. Nancy, Nancy, are you all right? Hannah whispered hoarsely. Yeah, that's right. She stopped breathless. I am always breathless. I'm sad that I can't read the way I used to. Really frustrated. I can't get enough breath. I'm sorry I keep complaining about that, but it really makes it hard to record. I'm not enjoying recording. I'm not enjoying reading out loud anymore because I can't breathe enough. And I'm discouraged about going to the 27th. Sorry, I don't mean to, I was going to take a tone or something, but I do take care of myself. It's all cancer related stuff. And I have to go to the hospital on the 27th and the 28th, to the areas of the hospital where you are forced to cover every part of yourself that aids in breathing. They make you cover this. I can't, just thinking about it, and I can't breathe, because it's healthy to cover all your airways, apparently. I'm saving people's lives by giving myself panic attacks and not being able to breathe. Good for me. Sorry, I'm really upset that we are into the fourth year of this nonsense. It all depends too on where you live and the politics of where you live and the hospital. I'd really like to go to back to pre 9/11 days. Really, is what I would like. Yes, I know. I know. It's just I didn't take it as a criticism. I really didn't. It's just anyone would say that to me, and I'd be like, I've been taking care of myself all by myself, and I'm tired and I'm frustrated because I don't have what I used to have. Strength, energy, breath, and my reconstructed side, I hate. Well, I have to go to my plastic surgeon again, and I'm gonna ask him if he can, like, take s I don't wanna get, like, graphic here, but take out some of the goo in my implant because it's really hard. It's I don't even like touching here because it's very hard. This side is wonderful. I'm gonna ask him, "Can you please make this side like this side in some way?" But if it involves going on, well, obviously, no, I was gonna say if it involves going under the knife, but he can, like, do things where he just would stick a needle in there and take some goo out. It's very confusing, and I'm giving myself a headache, and I'm sure everyone's going to log out now and say, "Hey, I came here for a Nancy Drew book." All that gross hospital talk, but I'm just tired. And I don't sleep well, and that's one thing. I was looking at a comic strip with it was Peanuts, and it was Sally, and she was saying how, "I'm gonna, eat right and exercise and sleep well," and I'm like, 2 of those things I have control over. I can't control my sleep. I would love to get an uninterrupted sleep, but that's not possible. Thank you, Jake Boston. Thank you very much. I get I'm very sensitive. I always have been incredibly sensitive and I cry easily. So I don't know. I'm tired. Mentally and physically, I'm very tired. And I feel like I have no privacy. And that's something I value greatly. Like, I dropped out of college because I'm trying not to swear. I don't want to swear on this channel, but what do they say when they edited summer school? Bull chips. Okay. It's okay. You can say bull chips in here. Um, it's like, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. I dropped out of college because it was bull chips and I shouldn't have gone in the first place. I used to be so embarrassed that I had dropped out of college. It's like I didn't want to tell people that I didn't have a college diploma. Now I'm like so glad. Like I wish I hadn't gone in the first place. I'm proud to only have a high school diploma because now they're terrible places. People are in debt for the rest of their lives. And they're like, a lot of them are just brainwashing institutions. But we won't get into that. Thank you, Jake Boston. Thank you. Okay. Should I start the whole thing over again? Hey, no, I'm not going to. I'm not starting out all over again. She stopped breathlessly in front of Nancy and hugged her. I'm also really sensitive, and so I hear things louder than the normal person. So all I can hear is the two people on the other side of the wall. Sometime the other night, and like there's houses behind me. I'm in the backyard, and then there's a street just there. Like I can see the street, but I can't. It's like not right next to me, but I can hear people sometimes when they're walking by on the sidewalk. I can hear them in here. And I can hear people talking way, 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 way over there on the sidewalk. And I'm like, God, why are you so loud? Other people, I don't know if they hear it or they don't hear it or it just doesn't bother them, but everything is very loud. Remember last time I was live, I had started reading The Highly Sensitive Person. Maybe I'll read more of that aloud because I was saying how I've had it for years and I'm still on the first chapter or something. So maybe if I read, well, I'm not going to stop reading Nancy Drew, but maybe reading that out loud will help me to actually read it. That's what I'm going to do, okay? Not right now because I'm reading this, but I think that would be good. And it can probably help a lot of other people too. Okay, so at some point I will read more of The Highly Sensitive Person because we had read the first part where there was a quiz and I complained how it was set up very stupidly. And I already knew the answer to the quiz for me. Okay, I feel better now. Okay, thank you. Hi. She stopped breathlessly in front of Nancy and hugged her. Maybe when they fix my tooth and stuff, I can tell her too that I can tell the dentist that I feel like I can't do S's. I have trouble with certain letter sounds. And it's because probably of my teeth and the shape of my mouth and all that, but it wasn't like that before. So I'm thinking maybe it has something to do with my teeth. She stopped breathlessly. It just, something happened in my mouth. She stopped breathlessly in front of Nancy and hugged her. Yes, I'm all right, but I'm certainly glad to see you. Hypers, said George. You sure scared us. What happened? Bess demanded. Nancy told her story. She ended by telling Dick that despite her efforts, she had learned nothing new about the China clay pit. Can you hear me back here okay? I ate a granola bar and it was really hard on my jaw and teeth. It was like, it made me tired eating it. The important thing is that you're safe, Hannah Gruen declared. Now let's get out of here. I'm sure your father will be terribly upset when he hears about this. Where is Dad? Nancy asked. He received an urgent telephone call from Washington, Mrs. Gruen explained, and caught the afternoon plane. He doesn't know how long he'll be gone. Nancy nodded. She wondered if the lawyer's trip to Washington concerned the Engs. Her thoughts were interrupted by Bess. I have to read like this now. It's making me sad. It makes me sad that I have to read like this. Nancy, did I read that already? Interrupted by Bess. George and I couldn't imagine what in the world had happened to you in that enclosure, Bess said as they walked toward her car. We waited and waited. When you didn't answer after I called, George was all for going inside to find you. Then your note came over the fence and we didn't know what to think. But we hid in the woods, George said, just as you warned us to do. And not a second too soon, I can tell you, Bess went on. We'd hardly jumped behind a tree when that Lavender sister came outside. What about the ladder? Nancy queried, still curious. Couldn't she see it? I'm going to try like this, okay? Hey, look in the back. It's a bunny or a mouse. I don't know. I can't see. We took the ladder away and hid it right after you left yourself down inside since you said you were coming out the gate. I'm too tired to hold the book up. I'm frustrated. I can't read like I used to. This is what brought me joy. Now I'm uncomfortable. Everything's too heavy. Ow, I can't, it's too bright. I need to turn the light off. Oh, that's better. Just really uncomfortable. Maybe, and like with this book, you can't put it like this and read it because it just closes. I wish it opened like a Bible, you know, but it just closes. I don't know if the table's really low or like the table and the chair don't go together. You know what I mean? If I was a midget, it would be perfect, I think. Maybe I can make the chair go down. I don't know. It's got like 500 controls. It's a chair I found on the street. Someone put in the garbage. And it has like 500 different levers and knobs and things. And I don't remember. I'd have to get down on the floor to figure it out. Oh, God. I shouldn't have done that. I'll come back, okay? I have to take my sweater off. I'm very hot. And I just pushed it forward and I don't know how to put it back how it was. Oh, I'll have to put this over here for a minute so you can't see me. It's like, I don't have the strength for this chair. It's got too many, well, it's the same as like, I don't need that many recipes for beer nuts. I don't need this many controls on one chair. Ow. Ow, that hurt. One of my issues was that I was wearing two shirts with long sleeves. I do not do that. Just wearing long sleeves is a bad idea for me. Okay. Oh, okay. I really messed up my chair. Oh. Okay, I think I put it back. Oh, I was eating some chips last night too. And they were like too hard or something. I think maybe it's because my mother is having trouble with her teeth. And we were talking about it. So I psychologically brought on some of her issues. No, I think it's the chips. It's the chips. Because I'm used to Miss Vicky's kettle chips, but these were Cape Cod kettle chips. So probably I'm more used to Canadian kettle chips. Like the American ones were too intense for me. I used to eat Cape Cod chips. Hello. I'm not really looking at the chat too much, but talk amongst yourselves. I'm not reading because I can't read. I can't read anymore, so I'm going to give up on reading live for now. I will put this back where it was so that if I ever return to reading live, I'll know where I was. But I'm going to put this book away because I can't read live. At least I can't read Nancy Drew live. I might be able to read the sensitive person book because it doesn't have voices or exclamation points and things. You don't have those in the States, Miss Vicky's chips? Or did you live in Canada? I think you can get Miss Vicky's in the States. Maybe not everywhere, like they're everywhere here. I am a little upset with it. Well, my favorite flavor of anything is dill pickle. Don't get me started on no longer being able to get dill pickle Doritos. Those are amazing. But I always wished that Miss Vicky would do a dill pickle chip, and then she did. But it had to be spicy chili or something and dill. She had to put something I hate with it. She couldn't just do dill pickle. She had to make them spicy. So I can't eat them. I also love ketchup chips, and she does a ketchup chip now, but it has something spicy in it as well. So I'm a little peeved with her. I'm so dry. This tea does not help with my voice. I next time if I when I order groceries online, I'm just going to say refund on the things that they don't find, because usually I say, okay, you can replace it with something. But I don't like this. Doesn't do the same stuff as throat coat. So next time I'm just going to say refund. Like the grape leaves that I like, the stuffed grape leaves. They they were out of stock of the brand that I like, so they replaced it with another one, and I ate them, but, like, I wouldn't buy that kind myself. So, if they don't have the ones I like, I'm just gonna say, "You refund me." I can't see it from here. I see you wrote something. I can't see what that says, for oh, I'm sorry. I don't wanna ignore you, but I'm gonna have to go like this. Oh, Winnipeg. Oh, only small bags? I don't buy small bags of chips. I don't do that. El Salvador. I don't even actually know where that is on the globe. Oh, they don't have potato chips? Bummer. I have one cat, but he's visiting his grandparents. I miss him. His name's Herbie. He's growing. He's growing. He's gonna be Herbert soon. He's getting an operation soon, and I won't be there to hold him and say, "It's okay. You're still my little man. You're still my little man." Central America. What continent? I'm just going over here for a minute. I'm still here, though. Winnie the Pooh. Or I was talking about the animals that wear clothes and stuff. I like Winnie the Pooh even more than Wind in the Willows. I'm here. I really am. I just want to lay in bed and watch old TV movies. But then if I'm in bed too long, I get really, my body hurts more. So it's like hard. It's hard to figure out. Oh, hey, let me show you my sweater pieces. Here, I'm going to show you my sweater pieces, okay? Look, so here's one sleeve of my sweater. Here's the other sleeve of my sweater. See? Two sleeves. Here is the back part of my sweater. And now, ooh, see, look, I only have this much yarn left, and I'm hoping that I have enough. See, it's not that big when you scrunch it like that. I've started on my first side piece. So I really hope I have enough, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I have to make my side pieces the same length as my back piece. Right? Yeah, I think so. Now, right, 60 stitches. I have 60 stitches. Remember that, because I didn't write it down. 60 stitches on the side piece. So when I do the second part, it has to be the same. I'm going to leave this out so that I can work on it today. You know, I just got in a better mood. I just got in a better mood because I have my knitting. Next thing I knit is going to be small. I'm going to make some toys for my boy Herbie and make some things for my mom. If this turns out well, I might get some nice pink yarn and make myself another garment. Maybe I'll get some cotton or some silk or something, because I don't like wearing hot things. I have a ton of sweaters, but like I took off my big oak sweater because I can't believe I had two long sleeves over my arm. Oh, no. I do not like, even just wearing sleeves like this. The shirt is cute, so it's okay. But normally I would be like, I can't wear long sleeves, but this is a cute shirt. So Yes, I that's a big project for me because I make dolls and stuff, you know? Well, I haven't in a long time, but that's what I'm most prolific at, I guess, making dolls and small things. I don't have any out, but I shared a lot of some videos of knitting and lots of pictures of the stuff I made. Oh, well, the hedgehog is with Perino in the boat. That's the only thing I have out that I've actually made. Other people have my dolls and things. Thank you, Charity. Yes, have a wonderful snow day. Oh, right. Chips in England are French fries here. Right. So when I finish my sweater, if it fits and stuff and looks cute, I'm going to add things to it to make it less boring because it's just plain gray now. I was supposed to put this book away. I'm going to do it right now. And I hope everyone's enjoying this book. I am. For me, it's a little bit too, I will say, a little boyish for me with like cowboy horse kind of stuff. Oh, what I wanted to say is I don't know why I'm doing an accent for the rancher guy, Mr. Strong, because they're in the Colorado Rockies and I make it sound like he's in Texas or something. And I've noticed in the last chapter, he started to sound like he was from New Orleans. I don't know why that happened, but my apologies if Mr. Strong's voice has gone all over the place. When he first showed up, he didn't really have much of a accent, unlike my own, but he has his voice got a little out of control. I've lost control of his voice a little bit, so yes. And he's not listening now, but I had made a community post with another picture of another cover from this book, and I thought it was very strange. And this guy, Jim McNamara, I think his name was, he explained that cover and that it was actually meant to be a cover for Invisible Intruder, which is really interesting. And he was going to suggest what he thought what he would like for the next Dana Girls reading, which I'm not even thinking about right now. Like I'm glad I got this book and I'm having fun with it. And in the future, I definitely want to do more Dana Girls, but I have to, finish all my Nancy Drew stuff or like the bulk of what I have already. But I definitely want to do more Dana Girls. Anyway, I don't know if he got my reply, but I asked him which one he would like to hear next. I didn't put too much thought into this one when I chose it from thrift books. I just wanted to get one that was oldish and um, I just read the synopsis of it and I was like, oh, a witch. Okay, that sounds fun. But we haven't met the witch yet, you know? It's like for me, it's a little too horsey because I'm not really into that kind of stuff. I'd prefer to be in a haunted house kind of situation. It's just not the setting isn't really my preference. I don't dislike it, but it definitely wouldn't be a favorite. But I like the characters and stuff so far. Oh, I'd like to see them in school. So I am going to shove this back into the shelf. Are there really 10 people here? Oh, now it just changed to 7. How does that work? Okay, see, it says 7 people, but when I go under participants, it shows me and Charity. So I don't know how it works. Just below Mexico. Okay. I saw that now. I'm St. Louis from Hair Winter Snow. I don't think I'm reading that properly. Yeah, it's snowy here, which I like. I'm gonna go look out the window right now. I filled my hot water bottle with the same water that I put in my tea jar, but it doesn't even feel warm. Whereas when I first poured it on my tea bags, it was very hot. It said on the paper that came with it, it said, "Do not put boiling water in it," but I do. I'm also very careful. I sleep with it sometimes. I'm very careful to make sure it's in there good because I don't need no third-degree burns. Oh, I'm putting all my books back. I just put this one here. I don't put that one there. I feel like I'm more. I like little tiny books with little tiny poems. Just like I prefer to knit tiny things. I prefer little books. It's Flowers from a Canadian Garden. Look at the beautiful cover. I think Perino read one of these. It always seems to open up to the same spot. I believe Perino took a picture with this one. These are all Canadian poets, I believe. Prefatory note. Flowers from a Canadian Garden. Entered at Stationers Hall, 1909. Wow. 1909. That was a long time ago. Let me read the prefatory note. Oh. Some of these have little ticks, pencil ticks beside them. I wonder if Great Uncle Frank made those. So I should read those ones. Oh, yeah. There's quite a few. It has the poet's name and then the poems by them. And some of them have little ticks on them. So Great Uncle Frank must have done that. Should we read one that he put a tick on? Okay, here's one from Elizabeth Roberts MacDonald called Whiteness. I hope it doesn't have any words I don't know. Whiteness. It's got exclamation. Oh, I love the sound of this one. The house among the firs. Whiteness. Dear white bird, into sleepland fly. Sunset fades in the tender sky. Fair is day, but the gloaming's best, and laughter is sweet, but sweeter rest. Dear white bird, dear white rose, in your garden set, with lad's love bushes and mignonette, bend in slumber. I was going to say summer. Bend in slumber that tiny head. Night's best blessings are on you shed. Dear white rose, dear white heart, while you softly sleep, watch may angels around you keep. Happy visions at set of sun come in dreams to my lovely one. Dear white heart. Oh, that was really pretty. Yeah. I would have put a tick on that one too. I agree. I agree with Great Uncle Frank. That one deserved a little pencil tick. Isn't it pretty? Now I have to look up this. Is the next one by her too? What was the name? Elizabeth Roberts MacDonald. Oh, she has 3 poems in this book. Whiteness, The House Among the Firs, and At the End of the Road. That's beautiful. So the next one I read, do you want to hear the next one? The House Among the Firs. That sounds like a nighttime poem. I just feel like it's going to take place at night. I forgot her name again. These three people. Elizabeth Roberts MacDonald. I'm just going to look her up. Elizabeth, tiny computer. Roberts MacDonald, Canadian writer. Oh, let's see. Born in New Brunswick. Wait, British North America. Wait a minute. Yeah. Doesn't even say it says born 1864, Westcock, New Brunswick, British North America. We weren't called Canada then? I don't know. Died 1922, age 58 in Ottawa. Uh-oh, she was a suffragist. Well, I can still enjoy her poetry. I'm not saying I don't want to vote. I'm just saying that I take issue with a lot of the things they did and their methods, a lot of them. Have you ever been to Suffragette City? Poetry, children's literature, essays, short stories. Wait, was she blind? She taught at school for the blind. No, she taught at a school for the blind. Oh, Elizabeth MacDonald died at a hospital in Ottawa, 8 November 1922, from complications following an accident when she fell in her home, breaking her hip. Oh, she has a son. Like his mother, Cuthbert, like his mother, Cuthbert, sorry, this is Wikipedia. Sometimes people don't know how to write. Went on to become a writer. Cuthbert's son, Theodore MacDonald, was a Canadian polymath. I don't know, some kind of science. It's talking about math and science now, so I'm done with her. Oh, I'll look at some pictures of her. Oh, there's just one picture of her over and over again. Well, that's really interesting. Like, I don't need to know about her extended family and stuff. They start talking about, well, first of all, there were some commas where there shouldn't have been commas. So that messed up my enjoyment of reading that. Remember when you had to go and pick up a book when you wanted to do some encyclopedia-ing? I do. My parents had an Encyclopedia Britannica set from 1958. That's what I always looked up stuff in. I was born in 1978, so I looked things up in old encyclopedias. I just prefer looking in a book for things. Oh, I heard a little tweet from a bird. Would you like to hear the Ozarks? Cool. I wish I had strength and money to travel all by my lonesome. It would be so nice. I can't even get down the street. I mean, I can, but then I'm done for the day. Would you like to hear The House Among the Firs? I can't wait to get my new glasses. They're going to stay up and they're going to be cute. Not as cute as the ones I really wanted, but still cute. Oh, you know what? I realized it yesterday when I opened up my paper that I got from the optometrist. I asked for a copy of my prescription, but they didn't give it to me. So when I go back Monday, I'm like, excuse me, can I have a copy of my prescription so that I can buy some cheap ones online that are cute? Oh man, I wish I could have left right after seeing the doctor and I didn't have to. She was very nice, the girl who like put glasses on me and stuff, but it was exhausting. I'd rather just leave. I'd rather just take my prescription, leave, and then like deal with it, getting glasses by myself. Okay, would you like to hear The House Among the Firs? A low gray house is set among the firs, and softly night and winter wall it round. Among its garden ways no creature stirs, and from its frozen meadows breathes no sound. Oh, I hate it when I should just read it, but like when it says, but I cringe at that because I can't do that without sounding cringy, you know? Or it says low, low, alas, and all this stuff. But I can't do that without cringing myself out. I'm going to start over, okay? And I'll just say the and I'll get over it. The house among the firs. A low gray house is set among the firs, and softly night and winter wall it round. Among its garden ways no creature stirs, and from its frozen meadows breathes no sound. But, within those quiet walls, what light! Lamps globed like mimic. Okay, I can't. There's like too many M's. This happens when I'm reading from my Bible because it's old-timey talk. It's beautiful to read, but when I say it out loud, it's like tongue twisters sometimes. Okay, here we go. 121, 122. The house among the firs. A low gray house is set among the firs, and softly night and winter wall it round. Among its garden ways no creature stirs, and from its frozen meadows breathes no sound. But within those quiet walls, what light! Lamps globed like mimic moons, and firelights glow, and eyes of childhood still with wonder bright, above some fairy record bending low. The mother gazes on the fire and builds dream's mighty architecture, love knows how, and one beside her thinks how firelight gilds her hair. And one beside her thinks how firelight gilds her hair and shows the splendor of her brow. Keep watch about it, kindly powers, and let no evil thing draw nigh that dear abode, the low gray house of quiet, safely set among its firs beyond the winding road. Sometimes with the way the lines are stacked, I don't know where to pause or not to pause. When it said, on one line it says, and one beside her thinks how firelight, and then the next line says, gilds, and then the next line says, her hair, and shows the splendor of her, next line, brow. So it's like, you're in the middle of a sentence, but you've got a capital letter on her. The mother gazes on the fire and builds, next line, capital letter, dreams mighty architecture. Love knows how, semicolon. Because I don't know about the structure of poetry. The mother gazes on the fire and builds dreams mighty architecture. Love knows how. And one beside her thinks how firelight gilds her hair and shows the splendor of her brow. Now I'll just try to read it and forget where the line breaks are. The mother gazes on the fire and builds dreams mighty architecture. Love knows how. And one beside her thinks how firelight gilds her hair and shows the splendor of her brow. See, that sounded right, but I feel like I need to stop, take a rest before the next line when there's a capital letter. That was a very nice poem. We'll read it once more without stopping. The house among the firs. A low gray house is set among the firs, and softly night and winter wall it round. Among its garden ways no creature stirs, and from its frozen meadows breathes no sound. But, within those quiet walls, what light! Lamps globed like mimic moons, and firelights glow, and eyes of childhood still with wonder bright, above some fairy record bending low. What does that mean? Above some eyes of childhood, above some fairy record bending low. See, that makes me think, what is a fairy record? It can't be like a music record because they don't bend, do they? It's some kind of old-timey talk. I don't understand. You Google it and you see that Fairy Records is well-known Punjabi music company. Subscribe our YouTube channel. But I'm talking like 1909 here. What does that mean? And eyes of childhood still with wonder bright, above some fairy record bending low. What does that mean? Above some... I'm too big for my computer. Fairy record. I can't wait to get my new one. Also, like, I'm sorry, but things were better in the past. You had nice raised keys. You know, they were raised up and you had to push down on them, but you didn't hit your other keys. Your other keys didn't get in the way of the keys that you were trying to hit. You know what I mean? Above some fairy record bending low. But I'm sure my ThinkPad will have a much nicer, touchy feel. You know what I mean? What does that mean? And eyes of childhood still with wonder bright, above some fairy record bending low. Somebody can explain that to me. I'd really appreciate it. The house among the firs, a low gray house, is set among the firs, and softly night and winter wall it round. Among its garden ways no creature stirs, and from its frozen meadows breathes no sound. But, within those quiet walls, what light! Lamps globed like mimic moons, and firelights glow, and eyes of childhood still with wonder bright, above some fairy record. Bending low, the mother gazes on the fire and builds dreams' mighty architecture, love knows how. And one beside her thinks how firelight gilds her hair and shows the splendor of her brow. Keep watch about it, kindly powers, and let no evil thing draw nigh that dear abode, the low gray house of quiet, safely set among its firs, beyond the winding road. I would love to be in the house among the firs. I wouldn't hear anyone that I don't know. I wouldn't hear strangers. I would just be in nature. But there wouldn't be like a kid hanging around or something. Like, because this is a mother and a child, right? I think so. I wouldn't hear people clearing their throat and giggling and coughing all day and just, it would just be pleasant. So that was really nice. Would you like to hear the next poem, the third poem in this volume by Elizabeth Roberts MacDonald? At the end of the road, far in the height of the hills, toward the setting sun, nestle the homes our hearts shall reach when the long day's work is done. In the height of the hills of dream, they wait till the hills are won. Sometimes, when love makes clear life's inner vision fine, or music breathes its word of mystery half divine, suddenly, out of the dusk, we see their windows shine. There, when the setting sun the spirit with wonder fills, when the good day's work is ended and the voice of welcome thrills, we shall come to their shelter safe, far in the height of the hills. You know what? I didn't really like those last two poems. Sorry. I really like the title, The House Among the Firs. I didn't really like the poem. And the last one was just kind of boring, too much rhyming or something. But the one that Great Uncle Frank put a tick beside, Whiteness, was really pretty. Let's read that one again. Dear white bird, into sleepland fly. Sunset fades in the tender sky. Fair as day, but the gloaming's best. And laughter is sweet, but sweeter rest. Dear white bird. Dear white rose, in your garden set with lad's love bushes and mignonette, bend in slumber that tiny head. Night's best blessings are on you shed. Dear white rose. Dear white heart, while you softly sleep, watch may angels around you keep. Happy visions at set of sun, come in dreams to my lovely one. Dear white heart. There's an exclamation point at the end of each stanza. I don't know if that's a stanza where it says, Dear white bird, dear white rose, dear white heart. Now, when I see an exclamation point, I feel like pretty much, well, I don't necessarily have to shout, but it's like, you know, top of the muffin to you. If you remember Seinfeld in the exclamation points episode, like that lady had her baby, no exclamation point. Top of the muffin to you. So how would you say that? Dear white bird. Dear white bird. Just read it. So that was really nice. You can't hear it, but like there's awful sounds coming from over there. Let's try to ignore it by reading Forest Moods. This is a different poet. This is by Archibald. Oh, there's a whole bunch by this guy. Archibald Lampman or Lampman. Forest Moods. Just gonna make sure it doesn't. Oh, it goes on to the second page. There is singing of birds in the deep, wet woods. In the heart of the listening solitudes, peewees and thrushes and sparrows, not few, and all the notes of their throats are true. The thrush from the innermost ash takes on a tender dream of the treasured and gone. But the sparrow singeth with pride and cheer of the might and light of the present and here. There is shining of flowers in the deep wet woods, in the heart of the sensitive solitudes. The roseate bell and the lily are there, and every leaf of their sheaf is fair. Careless and bold, without dream of woe, The trilliums scatter their flags of snow, but the pale wood daffodil covers her face, a gloom with the doom of a sorrowful race. Well, it's like kind of sad at the end, although I'm not really sure. She's racing against the time when she's not blooming anymore. And I'm not sure how to say roseate, the roseate bell, Roseate. Roseate? Is that how you say that? That was really pretty. There is singing of birds in the deep, wet woods. I love sparrows, so I'm glad there are sparrows in here. The sparrow singeth with pride and cheer of the might and light of the present and here. That was really pretty. Now, how do you say roseate? I'm going to look it up and see what the lady on Google says. Roseate. Oh, there's a bird called it roseate spoonbill. Oh, I said it completely wrong according to this guy. Roseate. Is that what he's saying? I can't really hear him too well.
Roseate.
I don't always trust these people. See what this lady says. Roseate. You can practice with her. I'd rather, well, okay, let's do it. Roseate. Good job. Sounds like you said roseate. Good job. Well, thank you. What do I get? What do I get for a prize? Roseate. Good job. I'm going to try to say it wrong. I'll say it the way I said it, the way I thought it would be said. What did I say? I don't remember. Roseate? Roseate? That's what I said. Roseate. You tried to say Z. You tried to say Z instead of Zay. How to improve? Make sure your tongue is forward with the sides. What? I don't need all this. Make sure your tongue is forward with the sides pushing against the insides of your top teeth. Try to pull your lips to the sides. Okay, let's do this. Let's say roseate, roseate, roseate. Make sure your tongue is forward. Side pushing against the inside. That's it. That's it. I'm going to try it again. That's it. Sounds like you said execute. Try to say row instead of egg. I'm so confused about this word. Now I am so confused. Roseate. Roseate. I lost the poem. 63. Rose. How did she say to say it properly? I forgot.
Roseate.
I want to hear a normal person say it in normal conversation. Roseate bell. Well, there's a pretty pink bird called a spoonbill. Oh, now I see a rose bell sleeve swim dress. That's not what I want. I don't even know what kind of flower he's talking about. The roseate bell. Maybe I should put in flower. Oh, somebody did a drawing on DeviantArt. That's not a drawing. I think that's a photograph of a butterfly. And oh, they're pretty. I still don't know what kind of flower this dude is talking about. Like, I know what he means when he says lily. But let's see if I can see a video of someone and a roseate spoonbill. Oh, roseate spoonbill baby. Oh, wow, they're so pretty, but their beaks frighten me very much. Oh, look, the roseate spoonbill, roseate spoonbill narrated. Say the word. Say the word like a regular person.
It's flamboyant at a distance.
What?
And improbable. The roseate spoonbill is an
Okay.
improbable bird.
That's better. I just wanted to hear a normal person say it in normal conversation, not roseate, roseate, roseate. Roseate. So do we like that poem? I liked it. Forest Moods by Archibald Lampman. See, I remembered his name because he only has 2 names, and they're not as common to me. Elizabeth Roberts MacDonald is, to me, that's a very common name. There are lots of 3-namers in here. And one of Great Uncle Frank ticked one of the Archibald Lampman poems, the one's called Snowbirds. Should we read Snowbirds? It's one that he ticked. Snowbirds. Along the narrow sandy height, I watch them swiftly come and go, or round the leafless wood, like flurries of wind-driven snow, revolving in perpetual flight, a changing multitude. Nearer and nearer still they sway, and, scattering in a circled sweep, rush down without a sound. And now I see them peer and peep across yon level bleak and gray, searching the frozen ground. Until a little wind upheaves and makes a sudden rustling there, and then they drop their play, flash up into the sunless air, and, like a flight of silver leaves, swirl round and sweep away. Well, that was pretty. That was pretty. That was very pretty. I still like whiteness very much. Very much like whiteness. Let's read one more because soon it will be March. Over the dripping roofs and sunk snow barrows, the bells are ringing loud and strangely near. The shout of children dins upon my ear shrilly, and like a flight of silver arrows showers the sweet gossip of the British sparrows. Gathered in noisy knots of 1 or 2, to joke and chatter just as mortals do, over the day's long tale of joys and sorrows. Talk before bedtime of bold deeds together, of theft and fights, of hard times and the weather, till sleep disarm them, to each little brain bringing tucked wings and many a blissful dream, visions of wind and sun, of field and stream, and busy barnyards with their scattered grain. That was interesting. I feel like, oh, okay, brain and grain. By the time I got to grain, I forgot about brain and I didn't hear the rhyme. I have to work on it's hard for me to understand sometimes with the way the lines go, where I'm supposed to pause, like what little group of lines belongs together. You know what I mean? Because brain, till sleep disarm them, to each little brain, bringing tucked wings and many a blissful dream, visions of wind and sun, of field and stream, and busy barnyards with their scattered grain. I don't understand how that rhyme worked, but it was nice. I like the first part of it. And sparrows again. Any poem with sparrows, I'm fine with. I've been almost on here for. So apparently, I can read poetry. I learned some words. I learned how to say some words like roseate. I saw a pretty pink bird with a scary beak. Oh my gosh, it's almost 1. I have to go and make something to eat. Well, I'm sorry that I didn't read any Nancy Drew because that was my main intention, was to do that and just talk a little. But I did, I mean, I've looked through this book before, but I never read any of them aloud. So that was nice. And I hope you enjoyed it too. Although it wasn't like just straight read through of the poem. I had to look things up. I had to like retry some stuff and whatnot, but it's a sweet little book. I usually, when I choose a poem to read, I'll just look at the title. Like The House Among the Firs sounds really beautiful. I didn't love it much though. I still want to know what a fairy record is. I mean, it makes me want to look up some old, go to archive.org and look up some old 78 RPMs with like tinkly music boxes and stuff, but I don't think that's what they mean. So if you know what fairy record means, please let me know. It's something that can bend low. I have no idea. I have no idea what it is. I'm going to make some yummy noodles for my lunch. And please look forward to chapter 8. I put it away. Chapter 8 of The Secret of Lost Lake. And I don't know what Mr. Strong's going to sound like, but I really hope they find their dog, Baron. Well, it's not even their dog, right? It's a show dog, and they have to deliver it. I really hope that doggy is okay. So I will see you later. Thanks for being patient with me, and have a beautiful day. Okay? Bye. Bye, everybody.